On July 13, 2014, a man noticed a gray Ford F-150 parked alone in a Fairhaven, Massachusetts Kmart lot. He peered inside and saw a young man, motionless, slumped over the wheel. He called 911, fearing the worst. First responders arrived and confirmed the young man, Conrad Roy III, was dead. At first it looked like a tragic suicide. A water pump in the back seat had filled the truck with carbon monoxide. But as police searched for answers, they found Conrad's phone. The text messages inside would change everything. Among the usual conversations, one stood out, a relentless stream from his girlfriend, Michelle Carter. These weren't messages of comfort. They were something far darker. Detectives read on, their shock growing. The texts seemed to push Conrad toward ending his life. The sadness of the scene shifted to suspicion. What had really happened in that parking lot? The investigation had just begun. Conrad Roy was a promising young man, recently licensed as a boat captain, but he struggled with depression and anxiety. His relationship with Michelle Carter was mostly digital, thousands of texts, but only a few meetings in person. At first, Michelle seemed supportive, but her messages soon took a disturbing turn. She stopped encouraging him to seek help and instead began researching suicide methods, sharing them with Conrad. Her tone grew insistent, impatient. She questioned his hesitation, pushing him closer to the edge. The texts became chillingly direct. "You're finally going to be happy in heaven, no more pain." When Conrad expressed fear or doubt, Michelle dismissed his concerns. "I think your parents know you're in a bad place," she wrote. "I honestly feel like they can accept it." The most infamous message was brutally simple. "You just have to do it." The digital evidence painted a harrowing picture. Michelle's words were more than just messages, they were a call to action. On July 12, 2014, Conrad followed Michelle's instructions and drove to the Kmart lot with the water pump. Overcome by fear and the effects of carbon monoxide, he got out of the truck and called Michelle. He told her he was scared, he wanted to live. But Michelle's response was chilling. "Get back in." Conrad listened. He got back in the truck and never came out. After his death, Michelle texted Conrad's family, acting like a grieving girlfriend. But to her friends, she confessed, "I could have stopped him, I told him to get back in." This confession changed everything. Police realized this was more than a suicide. It was potentially a crime. Could someone be held responsible for another's death through words alone? In February 2015, Michelle Carter was indicted for involuntary manslaughter. The case would soon capture national attention. The question was clear: can words kill? The stage was set for a landmark trial. The world was watching. Michelle Carter's trial began in June 2017. There was no physical weapon, just thousands of texts. Prosecutors argued her words were the weapon, pushing Conrad to his death. The defense claimed Michelle was a troubled teen, swept up in Conrad's struggles. They argued her words, however cruel, were protected speech. Michelle chose a bench trial. The judge would decide her fate. Judge Lawrence Moniz found her guilty of involuntary manslaughter. He said her command to get back in was wanton and reckless, directly causing Conrad's death. Michelle was sentenced to 2.5 years, serving 15 months. The case left haunting questions. Can words be a weapon? Where does responsibility begin and end online? The Michelle Carter case forced us to confront the power and danger of our digital words. Behind every screen is a life that can be changed forever.